Hello, Dexter Morgan. If you are a Dexter fan like me, you're probably wondering what the hell is Dexter Resurrection even about? And how are they even gonna execute the story? And how is Dexter not in prison? Well, Dexter Resurrection is still in production, and we are 2 to 3 months away from its release, and they keep on non-stop rapidly dropping set photos that just keep on ending up being so exciting, but at the same time so confusing. So I figured why not compile all of the speculations online, and my own speculations as well, and confirm stuff at the same time, and compile all of the set photos together, and try to make my very own Dexter Resurrection theory, and figure out what the hell is the show going to be about. So the two most important questions that two of my theories might be able to answer is how is Dexter not in prison, and why is he hanging around with all of these characters scot-free? I believe in the first episode it will be a continuation from the opening scene of Dexter Original Sin, where we saw a flash forward scene of Michael C. Hall's Dexter being transported into the hospital for their emergency surgery and then being resurrected back to life. And then as you can see in that scene, he obviously came back to life. So I believe it will continue on from there, but this time we'll see him in a hospital bed, maybe in like a semi-coma or something like that, just in deep recovery, and then as he's coming back to life, Trinity and Miguel and most of the other villains that might be able to come back, and even Brian Moser potentially, will all haunt Dexter and confront him in the hospital scene in a similar manner to how in the Dexter series, Dexter saw Harry and Brian and Deborah. Even though they're all dead, they still were able to haunt him or just talk to him in the afterlife. Even though it's not technically the afterlife, they still don't have an exact explanation for what that ghost/hallucination aspect of the show is exactly. But either way, since Miguel and Trinity are officially returning, it definitely seems like this is going to happen. I mean, even John Lithgow himself confirmed it in an interview with Variety.
I just went back to do a day. They're rebooting the entire Michael C. Hall version of Dexter. And it turns out he didn't die after all, and I come back sort of as a phantom as he gradually comes to life on a hospital bed.
Or if it's not all of the Dexter villains confronting Dexter and haunting him in the hospital scene alone, maybe it's just gonna be Trinity who's gonna be in the hospital scene, and then other villains like Brian and Miguel and a bunch of other ones too if they're able to bring them back. Maybe their appearances would be spread apart in a bunch of different episodes. So after Dexter has recovered in the hospital enough, he could be represented in court by a lawyer who was sent by Leon Prater, played by Peter Dinklage, as part of Leon's scheme because he might know all about Dexter already, and would probably want to corrupt Dexter and want to utilize him and want to work with him. So since we know that Leon is filthy rich, he could figure out a way to keep the law corrupt and the cops as well, to drop the charges from Dexter. After seeing scenes of Dexter meeting Leon, and Leon convincing Dexter to work with him, Charlie, played by Uma Thurman, possibly tells Dexter about their plan to take down another serial killer roaming around free called Lady Vengeance, played by Kristen Ritter. So that could be why Dexter was hanging around with her. He could be gathering intel and trying to understand who she is and why she does what she does, and probably try to figure out how to get rid of her somehow. Then after Dexter eventually kills her, Leon backstabs Dexter and reveals his true colors and true intentions, and he just turns against Dexter and he shows that he's the real villain. And that could be a good way of them revealing that he's the main villain of Dexter Resurrection. And then Dexter would eventually try to take him down, even though he's such a big character and really powerful at the same time. Dexter would probably have to channel his inner early Dexter seasons and bring back Prime Dexter to take him down. And it also looks like David Dastmalchian and Eric Stonestreet both work for Leon Prater, and I feel like David might be playing a lawyer type of character, and he might be the one to help Dexter in court. Now for that theory, I'm still a bit hesitant on it, but I would still be happy and surprised if some of it even does come true. But I did write another theory, and it does seem like more of a possibility than the one I was just talking about, and it basically goes like this. The hospital scenes still remain the same from the first theory, but the way Dexter walks free, he could escape the hospital in a very intense scene, or still get the charges dropped from him, but not by the help of Leon, maybe just by himself, or somehow by an epic return of Desmond Harrington as Joey Quinn. And that could be a really cool way to reintroduce him to the franchise. And he's like, I know Dexter's innocent and that kind of stuff. And because he knew him for so long, or even though he knows that Dexter's a serial killer, he still wants to let him out free because he respected what Dexter did in the final season of Dexter, and how he probably knew that Dexter was a serial killer in season 5 anyways. And then I could definitely see Dexter roaming around the city and taking shelter and stealing a car from a criminal that he recently killed, and I'm imagining it to go down in a similar route to the Harrison Ford movie Fugitive. And he ends up meeting this other hooded character played by Mark Menchaca, who is seen wearing this sort of backpack with this writing in the side, and he seems like he's a hacker or someone who specializes in cybersecurity, and he could be working with Dexter early on and telling him all about how Leon is corrupt and how bad of a guy that he is. So they could be figuring out a plan to strategize and manipulate their way into Leon Prater's crew and try to make Dexter seem like he's cool with Leon and working for him and doing like dirty jobs for him, but at the same time he's trying to do it just to understand him and eventually get the chance to kill him. And then meanwhile, in this second theory, Kristen Ritter's character, Lady Vengeance, who we know is a serial killer, could just be a small side plot within the major storyline, and it could go either in two ways. She could be treated as a 1 to 2 episode villain and Dexter would get rid of her pretty soon, or after Dexter getting to know her a bit more, the story could twist itself a bit more and reveal something surprising and merge itself into the main story. Like she could be Lila's sister or someone who is related to Lila from season 2 of Dexter, which seems a bit far-fetched, but that would be very crazy. Or if she's not related to Lila, she could be someone who's taking down Leon at the same time. But yeah, all in all, those are a few theories that I came up with from the various set photos and the confirmed news of Miguel and Trinity returning. And I definitely feel like no matter what's happening, Angel Batista is still going to be trying to hunt down Dexter and try to figure out if the allegations is true. And then all of those storylines will merge into one big reunion between Masuka, Dexter, Batista, and Joey Quinn. That would be such a super cool way to see the OG gang return once again, and it would be really interesting to see how they would treat Dexter after all of these years. Will Masuka and Joey Quinn side with Dexter, or are they gonna feel scared and disgusted by him? Either way, a lot of major stuff is definitely going to go down in Dexter Resurrection, and I'm super excited regardless. Dexter fans, what are you guys' thoughts on my theories? And comment down below if you guys have any theories yourself. Dexter Resurrection releases on June of this year, and I really hope we get some sort of teaser or trailer or even some sort of poster sometime soon, because I'm just craving for something official, man. We haven't even gotten an official still yet, which is so insane. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to check out my other content and make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time.
No pulse, recharging.
3, 2, 1, clear! We have a heartbeat.
A beating heart. I'll take it.